What is up, my friend? Welcome back. So in this video, we're going to be talking about how depersonalization and derealization feel. Now, I want to be clear that even though the experiences of these symptoms are very different, the way of recovery for both of them is exactly the same. And I'll also say that some people only experience depersonalization, some people only experience derealization, and some people experience them both together or go in and out of each of the symptoms. And either way, you can fully recover. But let's go ahead and talk about depersonalization. So this is a feeling of having a detachment within the self regarding one's mind or body, or being a detached observer of oneself. It's often described as feeling if you're watching yourself on a video camera, or if you're looking through the back of your head, as if you and your body are a separate entity. You may feel hyper aware of all of your bodily processes and find that when you notice your physical body or you observe yourself, you feel a sense of panic and detachment, and like it's not your own body. You also may feel stuck in your body, and you may feel disconnected from your entire body, or you may just feel disconnected from certain body parts as well, like your hands, your arms, your legs, your head, etc. So also, people may feel like robots, friends, family, coworkers, people at school, social situations. People just may not feel real. They may feel very robotic, as if they're not human anymore. And I've certainly experienced everything that I'm mentioning. I experienced it. And also, you may look at loved ones and feel like you don't know them anymore. You may feel this sense of detachment from them as if they're complete strangers. You also may look in the mirror and not feel that old sense of connection that you once did with your physical appearance. I certainly had that. It was one of the most bizarre things I've ever experienced. But you also may just generally not feel an emotional connection to loved ones or people in general as well, which emotional numbness and disconnection, that can be present with depersonalization or derealization, just letting you know. But also another thing that could happen with depersonalization or derealization is numbness to pain. You may not feel any pain. I remember I would slap myself and pinch myself just trying to feel something. My entire tongue felt totally numb, and I would even bite on it just to try to feel something. So if you feel any of those things, it's very, very, very normal for either depersonalization or derealization when it comes to emotional numbing and numbing to pain. So that is all I have to say about that one. Now let's talk about derealization. So this is an alteration in the perception or experience of the external world so that it seems unreal. You may feel as if though your environment is lacking in spontaneity, emotional coloring, and depth. Some people describe derealization as feeling as if everything is only a dream world and nothing is real. And to me, it felt like there was a glass wall between me and everything else. And that old sense of connection that I once had with everything, it was now gone, and it was replaced with a weird feeling of unfamiliarity. I truly felt as if I'd slipped out of reality, and it was very, very scary. And I remember the night that I smoked marijuana, this would be like 12 years ago, 13 years ago, and started to experience derealization, and I was experiencing DP as well. But I looked around at my friend's cars, I looked at his house, I looked at the street. There was a street light, and I think it had rained, so it was kind of wet and stuff. And it literally felt like I slipped out of reality and I was watching a movie, like I was watching The Simpsons or something. One way to describe this is, I don't know if you've seen the movie Space Jam. It was, I think, made in the 90s. But Michael Jordan gets taken into what's called Looney Tune land, and it's a cartoon world. You've got Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and all those people. And basically, it is a cartoon world. Everything feels fake, yet Michael Jordan is still a human. So if you feel like everything is fake, everything is a cartoon, nothing feels real, like you've left the reality that you've always known, that is like textbook derealization. You're perfectly safe, but that's one way to describe the feelings. Now, another thing that may happen, especially with derealization, but definitely also could happen with depersonalization, is you may start to have a lot of existential fears. And it makes perfect sense because you're feeling detached from existence itself. So thus, it makes perfect sense that you would start to question existence, because the existence that you had always known feels so foreign, and now you're in this new experience of reality, and you're questioning, what is reality? Was what I was experiencing true reality, or what is this that I'm experiencing? And I can assure you that what you experienced before is the normal experience where you feel connected to everything, and this is just a temporary experience. But you may start to question existence, the material world, death, the afterlife. There may be religious questions that start to come up, and all of those things are very, 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 very normal. So don't let that scare you. It's just a part of the state that you're in, the survival state that you're in. And once these symptoms shut off, you will go back to feeling emotions again. You'll feel that old sense of connection to your body, to other people, to the world. All of that stuff will automatically go back to normal once you're in a state of safety, which I'm going to show you how to do. So I hate to even spend so much time talking about symptoms. You don't want to be symptom focused, you want to be state focused, but I hope that kind of gave you an idea about the different experiences of these symptoms. Now, I do want to say a quick word about the word disorder. So 2% of the population experiences depersonalization, derealization disorder, which millions of people when you consider the world's population. That's a lot of people, so you're not alone. And half of all people will experience either depersonalization, derealization, or both at some point in their life. But the average person only experiences depersonalization, derealization for up to a month. And then after 1 month, that's where it's technically called the disorder. But don't let that word scare you. There's nothing wrong with you. But disorder simply means that you're experiencing these symptoms longer than people typically experience them. So just to give you one example, let's say that somebody had a car accident and it's totally overwhelming. They enter a traumatized state and they start to dissociate. They feel disconnected from their body, from the material world. Maybe they even become numb to emotions and pain. And I'll explain all this later in depth. Well, they may allow the symptoms to manifest. They don't read anything into them. They know that it's just there because they're in shock. They're in this car accident. And then after the car accident, they know how to get back down into a calm state. And then they only experience the symptoms for a few minutes, maybe a few hours, and then that's that. That is the most common experience with these symptoms. It's either a few seconds, a few minutes, or a few hours, with a few exceptions of it lasting up to a month. But what causes us to experience these symptoms past 1 month is that whereas most people know how to de-escalate their stressful state, they know how to process traumas, and they also may have a general understanding that their symptoms are just simply there because of the state that they're in. Other people, like you and me, that are very deep thinkers, we internalize everything, and we don't know how to process trauma, we don't know how to de-escalate our stressful state very well, and we start to have a fear-based understanding of our symptoms, we continue to send signals of danger to our brain and nervous system that keeps us in a state of survival even long after a month. And thus we continue to experience depersonalization, derealization. It's actually very simple. So to get out of this disorder, we just simply need to continually change the signals that are being sent to our brain and nervous system, get into a state of safety, and then we will no longer be experiencing this disorder. Just never hear the word disorder and think that you're broken or that anything is permanent. It's a man-made word, and it just simply means that you're experiencing the symptoms longer than people typically experience them and nothing more. And you're gonna get back to exactly like you were before, but even better off after I give you this understanding and tools that you're going to get. So that is it for that, my friend. You're gonna beat this. I hope that this brought some clarity, and I will see you in the next video.